Well, it says we're live.
Yeah, lies. Oh. Ugh. All right. If you'd like to keep a roof over our heads, donate here.
Yeah,
Especially
a dry roof.
Did I get blood on the? Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
If you like coffee, King Harvest Imperial Coffees. Let them know you heard about it from us. Good coffees, really good coffee.
Yeah, especially on days like this.
No kidding.
80 degrees, my dying ass.
Not going to see 80 today. Now I say that, it'll be 98 by the time the sun goes down. Smart Ass T-shirts, tinyurl.com, Among the Leaves Tees. Friend of ours, y'all may know him as Jim Jim. If you order from him, let him know.
Let him know you heard about it from us. Thank you. Yes, it's Thursday. Yes, we survived Tuesday night. Yes, it was interesting.
I'm kidding.
No peanut gallery today. Yeah.
No, it's just us.
Yeah. Neither one of us is feeling all that great. So we're here.
For versions of here.
Yeah. So quick recap on Tuesday night. It was tornadoes to the south of us, tornadoes to the north of us,
tornadoes to the west of us,
tornadoes to the west of us, and a quote unquote lowering circular construction north of Holiday, Texas.
Holiday. I've never heard the phrase, what was it? Non-tornadic rotation.
Which does not make a lot of fucking sense. And it was headed right for us. And the next report was 70-mile-an-hour straight line winds.
Which we didn't get those.
Yeah. And it decided to suck back up into the clouds before it got here. But it was
spicy.
Yeah, spicy. That's a good word for it.
Rita and I, our house doesn't have a carport or a garage. So I took my brand new used car, and the dogs. And we were parked under the overhead covered parking at the county tax office substation here in Owl Park. And a whole bunch of other people had the same idea, including one jackass who decided that his brand new pickup needed to take up 3 parking places.
Yeah.
And the looks on a whole bunch of ladies who had parked their brand new pickups under I'm willing to bet since it's a small town, he heard about it later.
Yeah. Yeah, Fool's Con Friday last year. Yes, Todd. Very similar. Yeah, Tom. Non-tornadic rotation
is a portal.
Might have been something coming here. That's true, man.
I need a bigger gun.
Yeah.
It's an excuse to get a bigger gun.
Yeah.
Something came here. Need a bigger gun.
Yeah.
Ian, why would that be the first thing to come to your mind? Because I live in Texas.
Yeah, that 20 millimeter would be kind of hard to stick in the car, though.
It depends on what comes through that portal.
Yeah, true.
I'll wire it to the roof.
Speaking of portals, Cedar's new book is absolutely friggin' hilarious. Deadheads. And it has Derp Kitty in it. What do you hunt elder chargers with? Whatever the frick I can get my hands on. Preferably large.
That's, if nothing else, I wish we remember for the fact I introduced the term Derp Kitty to the internet. One of my prouder moments.
Yeah. So you have a book out.
Mommy and All 3.
Press, yes.
Mommy and All 3 is Amazon did not play silly buggers this time and actually came out on time on target, which is for us is kind of shocking.
Yeah. So it's out there, and Cedar is admitting she stole the Derp Kitty. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Now we just need fluffy e-cows.
Hard to steal what was freely put out on the internet.
Yeah. No, you do not, Jesse. You do not want a friggin' bullpup Barrett. Trust me.
The recall isn't bad, but that much hate and discontent going off 18 inches in front of your face is not fun.
No. Much less for the poor son of a bitch that's standing at either side.
No kidding.
By the way, if you've never shot an M82 or
Fun.
a 50 BMG,
It's fun.
they are fun. However, you do not want to be
To the sides.
to either side
No.
because it will literally blow you back.
Yeah.
Also, I would not recommend firing more than 3 rounds. One of the things that we found out is that it will give you a concussion.
It will thump.
No friggin' idea who that is.
Bye. It'll
Bye.
thump things in your chest well, there's video somewhere of Jen Hess in a cat suit behind firing a 50. And there's a whole bunch of Jen that moves for a long time. And it's stuff on the inside's moving too. I'm not a big fan. I like squeezing and shooting a 50 a couple times, but when I can feel the thump in my lungs,
The thump is about like the recoil off a 12 gauge,
12 gauge.
but it's persistent.
Well, it's not just a recoil thump. It's that dynamite going off 18, 20, or 24 inches in front of your face.
Yeah.
The muzzle blast on a 50 out of a Barrett MA2 standard length is
Impressive.
Yeah, that muzzle blast is.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Liz.
Like your shirt. Yeah, it is a green. It looks blue on there, but it's definitely green in the paint.
Yeah. Well, it's, color matching.
Now, I will say that Barrett had I think they call the M99, the bolt action 50 cal. Not fun to fire. Not fun to fire.
No. I've shot one of those. And that was
Me
enough.
too. Got behind, loaded a squeeze trigger, said, well, that was fun, and got up. Because
Not like that 418 Rigby that
no, Jesus.
Kelly brought that time. 418 Rigby that weighed 6.5 pounds.
418 or 416? 416 Rigby.
416 Rigby. 6.5 pounds.
Yeah, no, I didn't. And I looked at it. I'm from Africa. I know the Rigbys.
Yeah.
And I said, no. He said, you need to shoot this. No, I don't. No, I won't.
Yeah. Resident One, you're a smart man. I've had 3 shoulder separations on the right side, so I'm very careful about what I shoot.
Resident One, CZ makes a bolt action 7.62 Russian, shorter, the shorter AK-47 round with a really nice, because the Czechs understand recoil, with a really nice butt stock or recoil pad. And it's good it's good for anything. I mean, it's good for hunting most of the stuff. If you get a soft point round, it's good for hunting most.
Have fun, Liz.
And
Don't roll the golf cart.
7.62 at 39, 7.62 Russian. Feeds out of either 4 or 5 round box magazine, I forget which. It's carbine length, and it's very, 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 very mild recoil and very polite.
Why does everybody want a friggin' 300 blackout? It's a useless friggin' round. Unless you're a sniper at less than 100 yards.
Yeah, it's not even a good sniper round.
I know. It's got, the drop is like 13 inches at 100 yards.
It's got a rainbow trajectory.
Yeah.
And it's great, I guess, if you're at 0 to 50 yards with a silencer on it, if you're doing CQB.
Yeah.
It's go forth but I've seen Travis Haley thumping targets at 700 meters with a 300 blackout. That's Travis Haley. I ain't Travis Haley.
Well, that also is not a subsonic round he was thumping them with either.
I don't know. It was just what he got out of the box and put in the magazine. So
those were not
probably
subsonics.
I can't say yes or no. I just yes, he can do it at 70. I can't.
Yeah.
If you need a 300, a short 300, a short 30, Um, 300 Hammer,
Yeah. 350 Legend.
350 Legend, 6.8 SPC, the new ones, do you much better than 300 Blackout.
3030
30.
or 300 Savage.
300
Good luck
Savage.
finding
If you
one of
find
those.
one, find one.
275 Bushmaster has been recommended.
275 Bushmaster, if that's the one I'm thinking of, it's a 28, it's a 7mm. But I've heard the name, I don't know much about it. It's a
I don't either.
.275 Bushy. And I think it's 275, if I remember right, and do not quote me on this. Remember right, it's a necked up 5.56, but it might be a necked up or neck down 30 AR. I don't know which.
Yeah, Kermit, you're an asshole. We know that.
Find one, I have one. 33s don't work well with my arm. Understandable. You probably want to stick 6.8 SPC out of with something with a nice thick.
Yeah,
would probably do you right. I haven't shot one yet, but the 350 Legends, everybody that talks to me says the 350 Legends got a real easy recoil.
Yeah. Oh, nice, Scott. Yeah, those
1899. Oh,
those old Savages are good guns.
Yes, they are. There's a reason everybody cried when Savage stopped making them.
Yeah. And everybody cries when they see one come up for sale and see what the price is on.
No kidding. I had briefly toyed back before the big issue of 2000. I briefly toyed with starting a lever action collection.
Yeah.
And I wanted Savage made a 99 Charlie in 30-30 briefly. And I really wanted that for my lever action collection. And then 6 figures worth of medical bills later, and I had sold off my collection.
Well, I've only got 2 lever actions. I got a 39 in 22, and I've got a 1962 Winchester 94 30-30.
Very nice little rifle.
Yeah. However, do not try to use Levolution ammunition in that gun.
Not in Winchester, unless they've done something. Marlin and Hornady got together and started the Lever Revolution round, which is the polymer tipped flex tip, so that you actually get something with some aerodynamics. And they set it up for the Marlin micro groove, and out of Winchesters with the Ballard rifling, it's hit or miss whether it will actually engage, and in Jim's it doesn't.
No.
Couldn't get it on paper. The one we found somewhere on the paper, it hit sideways.
Yeah.
Now out of my Marlin 336, it's
1-inch group.
Yeah, lovely.
Hush, Kermit. Tom, believe it or not, the old 150 grain silver tips.
Silver tips are Remington core locked.
Yeah. Those both work in Winchesters.
Yeah.
And they feed well, they're accurate, and they will put down a deer.
They have a Winchester, if you're having feeding issues, Winchester has a 30-30 with a silver ball, and it might be a 125 grain, but I think it's 150. And it's got a polymer ball.
I think it's 150.
Yeah, it may be. It's got a polymer ball. And if you have a rifle that's iffy on feeding, that lever action, that'll do the trick.
Yeah, Resident One. I'm
look it up.
Sadly not going to make LibertyCon this year because I will hopefully be
recovering from
back surgery during that time. Let's get on to something more interesting.
Yes, while I look up this Winchester ammunition.
For us old farts that remember Dave Barry, he of the hey.
What? I'm looking up ammunition.
Yeah, I saw that finger. He of the Miami Herald weekly columns, which were absolutely fligging hilarious back in the day, is writing again and now on Substack. It's daveberry.substack.com. He is as funny as he ever was.
Yeah, and he's flat friggin' hilarious.
Yes. And he is definitely writing again, and it's great to see. A friend of mine up in Canada pointed him out to me. The other thing, I've got a rant while you're still looking up that stuff,
Please be my guest.
and that is this latest round of medically assisted suicides.
Oh, now what?
New York
Oh, great.
Assembly passed a medical aid in dying measure 81 to 67. And they are probably going to get it signed into law soon.
Yeah. Tom, it's this one.
Yep, that's it.
150 grand, you're right.
Yeah.
That polymer nose cap, it's the come on, you bastard. Friggin' listen to me. Anyway, you were saying while I reload this damn thing?
All right. So, yes, there are 11 states in the United States, or 10 states that currently have medically assisted suicides. It started on the West Coast with Oregon, Washington, and California. It's moved across Colorado and New Mexico now, plus Maine, Vermont, Washington, D.C. What a fucking surprise.
I can think of about 530 something that should be medically assisted.
And
I'm
New
sorry, did I
Jersey.
say that out loud?
Yeah. Yes, it's exactly the same as the Canadian healthcare solution.
Which has worked so frickin' well for Canada.
Yeah. The thing that scares me, and the thing that I have heard both from my Canadian civilian friends and my Canadian military friends, is that the so-called single incident of a Canadian veteran with PTSD being offered medical aid in dying
Bullshit.
was a one time oopsie. Well, it's not.
We knew it wasn't.
There have been multiple instances of the VA in Canada pushing that for their veterans. They are also pushing that now in Canada for the older people.
Lord, if only somebody had seen that coming.
Yeah. Now the question becomes, at what point, yeah, my fragrant fat ass. Yeah, it's the panacea. But at what point, and this is what concerns me, do states start stepping in and saying, oh, well, you're this age with this infirmity, this infirmity, this infirmity. Therefore, we're going to medically assist you in dying and mandate it.
Tom, it's the ballistic silver tip 3030, 150 grain with a polymer tip. It'll feed in your rifle.
Yeah. Yeah, just like 80 years ago.
Right.
The problem is, yeah, Logan's Run was meant to be a warning, not a promise.
Well, anytime you have socialized, I'm sorry, if universal health care, it's all socialized medicine.
Yeah.
Anytime you have socialized medicine, it boils down to the government gets to decide. I couch it in whatever pretty foo-foo terms you want. Government control healthcare means the government gets to decide.
Yeah.
So this, and every time these bloody hippies come up with, universal healthcare, we're the only people who don't have it. I would like to draw their attention to the fact there are minimum 3 children that the government took away from their parents and let them die rather than the parents, at least one of them I know of, the Italians gave them Italian citizenship and offered to treat them for free. And the British government went, nah, we're good.
Yeah.
That's That's socialized healthcare, guys.
How many people here remember Terry Schiavo
Yeah.
and what happened to her? That's what you're facing. The problem is, yeah, Resident One, that's a great point. You are now non-productive.
Yep. You're not paying taxes anymore.
Yeah. It's time to sell off your parts.
Time to stop being a burden on the taxpayers.
Yeah, Greg. Some of us older folks remember Terry Schiavo.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. What happened to her was a horror story.
Mhm. Well, the 3 kids I know of.
Yeah.
And the British government decided, no, they can't be helped.
Yeah.
So who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck if they can't be helped? The parents, help was offered. The parents want to take care of it. The British government went, nah, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem is, and people that we know personally have had family move out of states because they're afraid of that very thing. Yeah, Richard. Need a heart here at the VA chop shop.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, it's always the authority figures. And nothing ever happens to them.
Oh, no. Well, and they've been over backwards to for this is the best thing for the child. That's up for the parents.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, that's for the parents to decide, not you.
But everything we're seeing today are taking parental rights away, not increasing them as they should be. You know, the whole thing. I mean, right now, the Supreme Court is looking at the whole school issue with charter schools. And that came out of Oklahoma because the lawsuit basically said, well, you cannot do school choice and have a church charter school be part of school choice.
Well, why not?
Church and state separation.
That's the parents, not the state. Okay.
Hey, Julie, that's why that is now at the Supreme Court.
God.
And I listened to some of the oral arguments yesterday, and it was rather interesting because it was either Gorsuch or Alioto that was going back and forth with the lawyer. And at one point he said, "Tell me what you're saying." Because this guy was obfuscating to hell and no.
Speaking of school problems,
Go ahead.
The the Buffalo Independent School District in New York. We talked about this.
Yeah.
A lot of allegations of being stupid. Have announced finally that the school board is taking over and they are going to seek out a third-party independent investigating firm.
They're going to fucking bury it.
Who they're going to put together and seek out the perfect firm and have them investigate. If you need somebody to investigate your idiot school system, might I suggest the Criminal Investigation Division of the New York State Police? Because not only will it not cost, which I'll guarantee you, this bunch of stuff, this is going to cost. Finding the just right investigative firm is going to cost out the yin-yang. And I'll tell you what's going to happen. Now, bear in mind that sitting here at this table is probably about a century's worth of dealing with bureaucracies.
Yeah, at least.
I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. They are going to spend weeks, if not months, putting together the proper panel. That panel, once assembled, will spend weeks, if not months, putting together an RFP, request for proposal. When that gets done, they'll put it out. And then various investigative firms will apply, and none of them will quite fit. So they'll adjust the RFP, which will take weeks or months, re-put it out, and when they get the one that will give, that they're pretty sure will give them the answers that they're actually looking for, not the truth, you understand, but what they're looking for, they will hire that firm. They'll take weeks or months to make sure that they know the left and right limits. And they'll put together a advisory council who will liaise with this firm. What all this is, why they're doing all this, is they can say they're doing something, and then in a year they'll look up, and if anybody's still, they're going to hope that nobody is going to remember this in a year. If people do, then they'll pay this firm 7 or 8 figures to take another year and get the, it was isolated incidents and we've taken care of it.
Yeah.
This is the shit that happens. Take it from us. We've seen it.
Yep. Yeah, Greg, that's another one. The Virginia School District. Well, that was Fairfax County.
That's a whole bundle of snakes
and they stepped in it big time because law enforcement got involved without the school systems being aware of it.
Which, from what I'm hearing, was a good thing.
Yeah, and it blew up big time.
And I'd like to address Detective High's disciplinary record. He does have a disciplinary record.
Yeah,
he does. He's, and I don't know the man personally. People that I know and trust, Rick Randall, do know him personally, and they say that Rick says he is a good and honorable, honest man. I hate to say this, in a northeast and New York large city, I neither know nor do I care if what they're alleging actually happened. Because this sounds like the sort of bullshit that I've seen in Texas large cities to hang on a cop. 5 years ago, guys, remember? I find it interesting he has a Brady letter. And what a Brady letter is, it's if you get caught lying under oath, you get under the Brady law a letter saying, hey, this cop is not, his word is not trustworthy, goes into your file. And then it has to be presented by the prosecution to any defense attorney. And in Texas, it's a kiss of death for your career. However, when you get down to the fine print, he's got a Brady letter. He got promoted to the Special Victims Unit as a detective and still prosecutes and still investigates cases.
Yep.
If his Brady letter is honest,
he should have never gotten that.
He would never have gotten there. So I don't know how much is bullshit and how much isn't, and it doesn't matter because the allegations aren't about him. They're about the school district. Conduct an honest investigation. Don't use Buffalo PD. Use the state police. Use the FBI. Use the U.S. Marshal Service. I don't care. Conduct a honest, impartial, objective investigation. If Detective High is in the wrong, thump him. If the Buffalo School District is in the wrong, thump them. But it doesn't matter. His past history doesn't matter. Allegations aren't at him. They're at Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah, the allegation seems to be that he was impolite to a perp being arrested.
He got caught on video. Apparently, he took a skateboard away from somebody and then hit them with a skateboard.
That's a little impolite.
That's very impolite. Well, under certain circumstances. His side of the story was they hit him first. I got no issue with him. I mean, I would have used a blackjack or a flashlight and done a hell of a lot more damage than a skateboard. I'm here to tell you. He apparently backed up over a motorcycle.
Not the first time that's happened. Won't be the last.
No. I learned the hard way that you do not hit felons fleeing on pursuit should not be hit by opening the door of your cruiser, not the front door. If you're going to run up, drive your cruiser up behind a felon who's fleeing on foot, use one of the 2 back doors. Because if you use the front door, he'll go under the rear tire. Sorry.
That reminds me of a friend of mine down in South Carolina, former law enforcement now, who used his vehicle to pin a suspect against the wall.
Been there and done that. It broke a lot of bones, but by God, he was pinned.
Well, yeah, he did the same thing because the son of a bitch was shooting at him and got him fired because he used quote unquote excessive force to stop the perpetrator.
I watched a Texas Ranger pin a psychotic jackass with a chainsaw against a barn with his cruiser. He was pinned. And when he got unpinned, he went straight to ICU.
Yeah.
But he got with a chainsaw. He was told to put it down. He didn't. He got pinned, and we took it away from him. Moving on.
Well, there were 6 bullet holes through the windshield.
Yeah.
And David had actually, he said, I dropped down.
Mhm.
And he said, I went until I felt the thump. And that's when I hit the brake.
I'm not seeing an issue here.
He didn't either. Neither did anybody with any common sense. But that friggin' defense lawyer got him fired. Use the rear door.
Yes, if you are chasing somebody who has been stupid in a violent way, and the sheriff is pulling up behind him, and he says, "Hit him with a door." What he means is climb in the back seat, open the back door, and hit him. If you hit him with the front door, I didn't parse this. He will he'll go under the back tire will go over him, and it's extra paperwork and it sucks.
Paperwork.
Paperwork sucks.
Yeah.
Use the rear door. So if you happen to be in a cruiser and you're fixing hit, if you're out in West Texas where police are still sane, go over the seat, back door.
Yeah, but then who's driving?
Well, if the sheriff or somebody's supposed to be driving, so you crawl over the back.
Oh, okay.
I was riding shotgun. Hit him. All right. Uh-oh. Meant get in the back seat. Well, Sheriff, you didn't mention that part. See, if you hit him with a back door,
that pushes him away.
Well,
Yeah.
both of them. But anyway, when he comes back under, the back wheel's already gone past before he.
Oh God, that's about as bad as a friend of mine, Ed Feeney. He was part of our Impala group, and his Impala SS was his police car.
Oh,
so he had the eyebrow lights on it and a couple other things, and he was the chief up in Oklahoma, this little town. And they had a chase with a Jaguar. And he was apparently sitting at home eating supper and heard it on the radio. And it was coming toward him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay. Shit. So he said he went stomping out, got in the Impala, pulled out, got to the major highway, watched the Jag go hauling ass by, and nobody behind him close.
It's a Jag.
Yeah. So he pulls out and jumps on it, catches up to the guy. Said he was doing about 145.
It's a slow catch.
Huh?
It's a slow catch.
Yeah.
If he's doing 150 or 140, you're doing 145. It takes a long time to catch somebody.
Yeah.
Trust me on this.
Well, he caught him. So he comes up and he flips his lights on. And he said he could see the guy in a Jaguar. Like, huh? And about that time, they went into a curve. So Terry said he just went, just tapped him in the ass.
Love tap.
Yeah.
Bye. Watch him do donuts in the median.
Oh, it was off in the median, through the median, across the other lane, into the field, and up against the tree. So Terry stops, turns around, comes back. He's gotten out in the field, got out of his car, got out in the field with the guy before the first trooper finally shows up. And he's got the guy handcuffed. And a trooper walks up and goes, "Where the fuck did you come from?" He says, I was eating supper. You want him here?
There was
Got in his car and left.
there's video from the ancient days. This would be 95, I think, 94 or 95. It's on I-40. And you've got, I forget what the hell was, something was running. And you see this white slick top. I think it's video for the DPS trooper behind this car. And you see this white slick top go tear ass past him, and the lights come on, and the slick top pulls right alongside the stolen car. You see the passenger side window go down, and then muzzle flashes.
Yeah.
And then he's all over the road, goes off, I think at Highway 70, if I remember right, goes. And then the car with the video stops. You hear the driver going, "What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?" And there's this absolutely gigantic African American deputy from Wellington, I think, comes running up, and the window's busted out, and he reaches in and palms this guy's face like a basketball
Pulls him out.
and jerk. And everybody was all upset about the him being pulled out by the face, and not about the fact that somebody shot him off the road.
I was going to say, sounded like something Ben would have done too.
Out in West Texas, that was shooting people off the road was a thing.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s, we shot a lot of people off the road.
Oh, Ben had some stories.
Debbie Clegane has joined the chat. Yeah, if Deputy Clegane had a lot more I love that guy. I forget what his name was. I think he was out of Wellington or White Deer, and he was just a good old boy, about that color, and huge. Remember they had a custom fit armor to him. Second Chance. Does Second Chance still make body armor?
Yeah.
Sent somebody to that sheriff's office to measure him. Apparently, from what I heard, he walked in and went, "Holy gods!" All right, we got this. A challenge.
I flew with a flight engineer, Roy Ellis, in the 1970s. It was so big, he could not fit in an extra large NB8R parachute harness.
Ooh, jeez.
So they had to build him a parachute harness. So every time Roy went flying, he'd come walking out the airplane with his parachute bag with his parachute in it. Yeah. Yeah. He was definitely Shota.
Well, we've got one lieutenant, used to be lieutenant, I think he's sergeant now, here at Itchy Paw.
Yeah.
Good guy, good friend of ours, good friend of me, and
Yeah.
And
Darren.
yeah, he has he drives a mid-90 Dodge Ram with the seat all the way back.
Yeah.
And they had to assign him Dodge Durangos.
Yeah.
The new Durangos, because it was the only thing. He didn't get into a car; he put it on like a suit.
Well, he couldn't even get into a
A Charger? It wouldn't fit a Charger.
Yeah.
Good guy. He's one of these guys. I mean, he's bloody huge, bald, huge. I mean, and just the nicest guy you ever met.
Yeah. And his wife's about 5'4",
if that much.
and he will not cross her.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
Matt, no. This
No.
would be. He's big. He's actually bigger than Matt.
Yeah.
He's Matt's down in Metroplex. This one's up here at Itchy Paw.
Matt's only about 6'7" or 6'8".
Yeah,
Daryl's probably 6'9",
at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
pushing 300 pounds.
He ain't skinny,
Yeah.
but he ain't fat either.
He's just big.
Yeah. First time I met him, my first day at the at this sheriff's office. I'd been a sheriff for 6 years, or deputy for 6 years, and I was assigned to the jail. Which go to the jail, I hear screaming, go running into a solitary cell. I see this gigantic black guy, and he's got his left hand out, planted on the face of this drunk, and the drunk is. And Daryl's just stripping the clothes off of him. He can't reach.
Yeah. I will not buy a Dodge product. Too much bad history with them. He occludes the sun. Yeah, pretty much.
I used to call him Chocolate Moose and the Walking Eclipse.
Yeah.
And he is such a nerd. Oh my God, he is such a nerd. 501st Legion is his.
Yeah.
He's such a geek.
Yeah.
Top secret reference. Yes, that's exactly where I got it from.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, and you know, when you start getting into vehicles out here,
Oh Lord.
you start getting into some family feuds. I kind of presented that in one of my books, and people are going, "No, that shit doesn't happen." Yes, it does.
Oh yeah, it does.
I have literally seen people break up a couple because one drove a Ford, one drove a Chevy. And never those two were going to meet.
For those of you who wonder why most people take to drive pickups, the last 72 hours are the reason.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
He is Daryl is such a nerd. He is such a kind-hearted dude. Although he got mad one time, grabbed up an old boy with a shank. Daryl came up behind him, grabbed him, and then fell forward. It's like
splat.
Well, call the woo-woo bus.
Todd, that had to have probably exceeded the gross weight capacity of that Cessna 150, especially if it was in the summer. Yeah.
Brian, ground clearance. You are correct, sir. Well, also, quite honestly, SUVs and pickups in North Texas make sense because if you have to unass the AO, like I had to, like I said, I got the dogs and me and my new car and went parked under, and everything else on there was a brand new pickup. It's hard to stick everything you need in a house into a Toyota Corolla. You need a pickup. And Jesse reminds me I could walk across the Red River when it's down for Fool's Con. Not someone that is correct. Rita has some video. I think Jim does too.
This is the red yesterday.
And it's not near crest yet. It is not even near crest because the majority of the water actually landed.
That's how far back into the trees it already was yesterday.
Yeah. The majority of the water that actually landed on the watershed landed well west of here.
Yeah.
So it's still making its way this way.
Now, the other thing you can tell about where you are in the country, especially in the South, is the further west you get, the more trucks are in the car dealerships than cars. And you see trucks in the garages and the cars parked outside because the truck is more valuable than the car.
Also, you see Texas off-ramps.
Yeah.
Texas off-ramp, Jim was laughing his ass off. That's why he said, I'm home. Texas off-ramp is that clear dirt over on a highway. You've got the dirt that's been cleared by so many folks jumping the
Yes.
jumping the curb and making their own off-ramp. We call it a Texas off-ramp. And it's hard to do that in Toyota Corolla.
Yeah. You can try it. You'll never get over the curb.
Once.
Yeah, that's why the EVs are dead out in this part of the world.
Yes, they are. I know a couple of people, good friends of ours that have Teslas, and they like them. But one of them, Thing One, and her husband took her Tesla out to North Carolina to visit family. And the husband lost his mind because every time they stopped to recharge,
2 to 3 hours.
He had a Tesla fast charge. He had to find something to do himself for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And
step bars were for a reason.
I don't want a lifted truck. I like trucks. trucks. I mean, there's enough room in it.
Yeah.
That Corolla. One of the things about the Corolla, it's got great gas mileage. It's a nice little car. It's a Toyota, but it's one. My ass is dragging the pavement when I drive.
Yeah.
Remembering I haven't driven anything but a truck since for the last 40 years.
I still remember there's a little old lady somewhere here locally, and I'm talking white-haired grandmother type little old lady, drives an F-350 dually, and she might be 5'1", maybe. And an F-350 is not a short reach. And I was parked next to her at the grocery store one day. And I'm coming out with my bags, and she's ahead of me with the bag boy. And she opens the back door. He loads everything in. She opens the front door about the time I walked up. She takes a step stool out, sits on the ground, gets on the step stool, climbs in the truck. And I'm kind of looking over at her, and I cocked my head, and she looked at me and smiled and reached down, grabbed the rope, pulled it back in, set it in the truck with her, stuck her tongue out at me, closed the door, and went. And I have seen her going down the road at 90 miles an hour.
No kidding. No kidding.
She had somewhere she needed to be.
There's a high school friend of mine married a barrel racer. I tell you, the man is very brave, man. Barrel racers are crazy for a reason. And that little thing, he bought her an F-450.
Oh, God, yeah.
So that she could pull her prize barrel racers around the country to go to competitions. And watching her climb up into an F-450 is yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, the 350s are a little high, even with the running boards.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing, this is what gets me. There are these quote unquote electric running boards that automatically come out.
That break.
First time you take that thing out in the mud, and that mud gets in that running board, it broke.
I remember watching the somebody, his F-450, and he had a little bitty wife, and it was a raised F-450.
Yeah.
I forget what F-450s. That's, if I remember, you have to custom order an F-450, don't you? Because they're huge, and they were ranchers. She's a little bitty rancher wife, and it was at the Denim and Diamonds charity ball in Amarillo, and went out. She's wearing a tube dress, and I went out to do something, and she went over, and he reached up and opened the door, and picked her up to put her in.
1980s Chevy CRK or a K10. Yep. You can find them, but you're not going to find them cheap. The other thing I will warn you about with the 80s Chevy CKs and K10s is the flat hood. You have to be careful how you close the hood.
Okay.
Because it is a flat hood. If you just grab the front of it and pull it down, the hood will bend.
Oh.
There's one here locally that the guy actually put a hood scoop in just to keep that from happening.
Smart.
The one with the red truck. Yeah, that's why he did that. To keep it from bending.
It's smart.
Yeah.
What is it with the trucks that are squatted? I don't know. I really don't. That is so stupid. Then there's one in town, not this town, but over in Itchypaw.
Yeah.
And I mean, it looks like a female dog having a whittle.
Yeah.
And it's like, why?
The funny thing is everybody talks about lifting trucks for off-road clearance. And many years ago, when we were racing off-road out in California and other places, everybody that had pickup trucks were lowering them.
Center of gravity.
And I think it was Coney. Well, it was before Fox came into the business. I think it was Coney had come out with a shock set that had a different Johnson rebound on it. And what folks were doing was taking steel cable and making a loop at the full extension of the shock to keep the wheels from actually falling out from under the vehicle, front and rear. So it would squat and need the glands expressed. Yeah. So it would squat. So you had a low center of gravity, but at the same time you could hit a jump and things would not fall out from under the vehicle. Reinforcing bars between the hinges and the hood. Yep.
I'm not a big fan of the newer trucks. I'm really not. The federal CAFE standards have screwed up trucks. They really have. The people lose their minds about the newer trucks and the hood, the grills, the hoods, and everything, and the fact they can't find a mini truck anymore. Well, blame the feds.
Yeah.
That's CAFE standards.
Yeah. The other thing that's funny about it was the fact that the only way you get more clearance is a bigger tire and wheel.
Mm-hmm.
So, they'll jack these trucks 6 or 8 inches, but they don't change the wheel size.
No.
So all you're doing is increasing rollover potential.
Yep.
Saw an airboat being towed north. Yeah, somebody's probably playing.
Speaking of idiot federal vehicle standards, everybody does remember that either this year or next year, your vehicle has to be able to decide if you're impaired or not due to federal law.
Yeah.
And Mothers Against Drunk Driving having way overextended themselves. That idiot bit of legislation needs to be killed. It really does.
Yeah. If he won't sell you a Hilux, he's a Fed. Yeah. Contrary to what people say, you can in fact get a Hilux here in the U.S. Some of them came in gray market.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I would love a Hilux.
But they're right-hand drive, and you're going to pay through the damn nose to get one of them.
Yeah, and the first time you go to get it inspected, they aren't going to meet emission standards whatsoever.
Yeah, Kermit, but you know what the hell you're doing. That's the difference. 4-inch lift and oversized tires. You got to do that for clearance. Oh, yeah, Greg. 1959 or 69 Ford big boy. The high boys, I've seen one here in town. It's an F-250, 1969 or 1970. And the guy has gone completely through the vehicle. It is friggin' beautiful.
Is it?
He has even done the seat in leather. I looked at that, and I looked at him, and he got this shit-eating grin on his face and went, "'Cause I could."
And that's all the reason you need.
Yeah.
Can we get the Middle East trim for that? Yes, I would love the Middle East trim. I will point out that there's a company here in Texas making a Vampire system, which puts folding fin rocket pods onto Hiluxes.
Yeah.
Which I think is
folding fin aero rockets and a Dushka.
Yep.
The only problem with 2.75 folding fins is they don't always go quite where you point them.
That way. That's all I care. Go that way.
That way is fine, except when it goes, yeah.
One out of 16 goes, okay. Collateral damage is a thing.
Yep, 88 Toyota pickup basically is a Hilux. Yes. Yeah. It's a legal in the U.S. Hilux.
Where can I get this? It's a company out of Texas called the Vampire System, and it puts either 2.75 or a 5-inch rocket pod.
2.75.
Is it 2.75 in the back of a Hilux, or any pickup for that matter? Hang on a sec.
Bam! I learned how to drive on a '53 Dodge Power Wagon down on the farm when I was 10, 11 years old. That thing had a compound low. I could literally get out and walk faster than that thing would go. But it would climb a tree. I know, because I screwed up.
Harris H3 Industries, the Vampire. L3. Sorry, L3 Harris.
Oh, L3. Why am I not surprised?
Vehicle agnostic modular palletized ISR rocket equipment for launching advanced precision kill weapon system.
Precision kill my dying ass. They've obviously never fired 2.75s.
Actually, I think it's a 5.
Might be.
I need one for reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, L3, slightly outside our budget. Yeah. Probably starts at $500,000 and goes up.
Oh, at least.
Ah,
I like the fact that it comes with everything to hook onto your Tacoma if the
well, that's 2.75.
that's 275.
Nice little control head, though.
And that's definitely a Tacoma.
Yeah. But you got no room for the Dushka.
No, L3. I don't know if I would volunteer to test bed their new system. Just put it. Well, no, I don't have to pick up anymore. Damn it.
No way.
Why do you need 4 2.75 for reasons?
Yeah. Oh, the old VW dune buggies. Yeah. Especially, Bam, if that thing is a Myers Manx by chance, i.e., the rebodied dune buggy, do not get rid of it because that thing is worth a butt ton of money. There are people out there who can rebuild those engines. And I will tell you for a fact, 2180cc Volkswagen engine, you can get 172 horsepower out of it. And it's fun. But you need a better transmission.
Redneck Engineering Special Dune Buggy. Pipe, sheeting, and old VW frame. The best kind.
Yep. Yeah, we used to race Class 1 and Class 4. We had the first Chenoweth 90-inch chassis that got out of the shop. 2180cc Volkswagen engine, 172 horsepower. Datsun ZF, or not Datsun, Datsun 240Z half shafts, and a Porsche ZF 5-speed box in it, plus the brake steering. It would run 130 across the open desert.
In other news, I just remembered that today is May 1st, known throughout the civilized world as Happy Bin Laden getting shot in the fucking face day. So I'll throw that out there.
Yeah.
Also, to the Wobblies, Augusto Pinochet says yeet.
Well, the other thing, Bam, if you could ever find one, Mastercraft built a beautiful seat back in the 70s. And in that Class 1 car, it was just like sitting in a rocking chair.
Really?
Yeah. Unless you hit a rock, knocked the wheel off. Then it was kind of bumpy.
Well, then, yeah, but you can't get a chair that's going to work once that happens.
Ouch. Yeah.
It's also Happy Royalty Day, but no, Bin Laden got turfed off to his eternal reward this day some years back.
Yep.
Which
and buried at sea, so nobody knows where the son of a bitch is.
And I don't for a moment believe the Bush, while it came out of the Obama White House, about the solemn and respectful burial of that piece of shit.
Navy. Need I say more? Anyway, folks, have a good weekend. Be safe. Stay dry.
If you can.
Yeah. Especially if you're in our part of the country. And remember, Yeetus Maximus, yes.
Augusto Pinochet says yeet.
Don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. And we'll see you next week, folks.
See y'all later.
Bye-bye. Thanks for hanging with us.
Yeah.
Oh, we got 19 likes today.
Oh, only 19.